Hello? Is this thing on? It is Saturn's Day, February 19th, 2022. It is noon, I believe. This is Coffee Talk 2. Coffee Talk. Got, what did I have last time? Gosh, it's been a while since we had a coffee time video. It's, did anything happen in the world between, what was that, in 2019 sometime that I made that first Coffee Talk video? I don't recall. I think I had some kind of an Americano, because I am a real Americano. Well, I also have a large Americano, you know, some bean poison, some bean soup, oxalate juice here. A large, is it a grande? Is that what it's called? Try to open this up, let it cool off a little bit. Yeah, you definitely see, you go into the grocery store. I mean, that you know, that thing where people quit jobs and there's a lot of turnover, and there's the whole, everywhere you go, there's the we're hiring signs, and you can kind of just see the shortage of staff everywhere. I mean, it's that has come for everything, even at my place. I mean, even at the library, the turnover is absolutely incredible, folks. You used to never, like, good luck ever working for the library, and now it's just wait, right? Just wait and apply and at least come across as decent and wanting to help people, whatever, and you'll get in no problem. It's nuts. But yeah, you go into the grocery stores, and man, you can really now see they you know, I mean, it already used to be where you'd always see those help wanted signs, but you can now really see the just the lack of staff, right? It's the little things that give it off, right? Where you can see, like, man, they are struggling for people. It's either the young kids, whatever, I don't know, teenagers, early 20s, and the ones who've been in it for a long time, and this is now just their life. They've long since burned out, you know. You can see the burnout on their face, and just complete, you know, the face tells the story. You can see I mean, I'm probably very similar this way at work, where it's like, you've been there for over 15 years. This was never your life plan. It's very easy to get flustered, right? But that you can see it on their face, where you can tell, like, they just want to finish the day and just fucking go home and probably veg out or something. Oh, it's still too hot. So how do I have this so it doesn't fall down? But yeah, I might sometimes go to a grocery store and just grab a Americano. I mean, it's really my go-to coffee drink if I'm out. It's like coffee, but better. It's a watery espresso. It just tastes better than regular coffee. I'm not into this, oh, it's a venti, mocha, latte, boop, boosh, moop, boo. You know, none of that stuff. I want coffee, but Mom, I need the caffeine. If you ever watched Waxworks, it's just a little scene early on in the movie. It's, sorry. All right. Ow, still too hot. All right, well, let's do this. First sip going in. Yeah. I thought about getting an espresso machine for the house, but I don't know. That's when you get up in the morning and you're tired, the more work getting that cup of coffee, just the more like, no. I did buy a little regular, like, Mr. Coffee machine, but like that drip, you know, I could set the timer, make the coffee in the morning, but that drip coffee just simply does not taste that good. The Keurig is super convenient, but same thing, like it's not just something, you know, a little bit of that oomph, a little bit of that in the morning. You know, if I want to work on this whole, of course I say, oh yeah, working on getting off of coffee as I drink this giant, you know, oxalate barrel here. But yeah, I sort of finished the thought, like you can see like a Starbucks and a grocery store. Who would want that as a job, right? It is like, I don't blame people. I'm not surprised where it's like I'm sure that's not like top pickings for a job for people to, I don't know, but you can see it's like the one person trying to get all the orders. And I'm not one of those, like, she's taking too long. I'm very patient, very understanding. You can see the line of baby boomers that form in the morning who got their whatever drink, and they're like, you can see the looks on their face. You can see like the one poor person who like took the job. You wonder like, what's the life story? Is like you just needed to get a job, or you work for the place and they need somebody. Just, I don't want to create this story in my head about what I think, but I'm very sympathetic to it. It's like, you know what? I even let today, there's this one dude I see at the place I go to. He's clearly one of those kind of in it for life people who maybe a little slow, right? And I'm not like, it's not some kind of judgment or putting him down, and kind of a nice dude. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, you just, why don't you go before me? Because I could tell, overheard this little conversation when somebody was telling him, oh, how are you doing? So-and-so. I was like, oh, just want to go home. I was like, yeah. Here, dude, just go in front of me, get your drink. And even offered him, I had a little gift card with, I think, a couple bucks left on it that I just gave him. Okay. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the coffee machine at home thing. So I got that, like, the Turkish coffee is good, but sometimes in the morning, just that, getting up, putting the stuff in there, watching it carefully and not falling asleep so it doesn't go over, I'm just like, oh God. So I might have found, you can get like an electric, essentially coffee pot, where you can put everything in there and plug it in, so you don't need, I know this sounds like you sound like lazy, but there's also something to be said for efficiency. So you could just get up and go about your day, right? Where it's not like, oh, I need to really start concoct, this. I just want to get up. I want like a good, nice cup of coffee, and then go about my business, right? I know this sounds like you're making your morning coffee out to be a bigger deal. Like, well, no, because I think it is a big deal, right? Like I have very tasty tastes, very specific tastes, but I want to optimize the process somehow for my morning ritual, if you will. So I might just order one of those. Like, all right, throw everything into one pot, plug it in, and I don't know. I think maybe it sets off a thing once it's starting to boil, so it's like, there we go. So 10 minutes in, I've somehow managed to talk about it is a gorgeous, gorgeous Saturday. But I think tomorrow it's going to be even warmer. In the 50s. Right now it's going to be in like 60s tomorrow. Maybe even might hit. It's feeling pretty warm as I'm sitting out here. It's just got a 3-day weekend. And I believe there's going to be a snowstorm Monday and Tuesday. The temperature drops radically down to like the 10s or something for a couple of days there. So really just enjoying this right now. After I record this video and finish this coffee, gonna go for a nice long walk. Well, I've done it, folks. Now I've done it. It's been a series of disappointments and me coming to terms with the disappointments, but then also seeing that the disappointments are my own creation, right? One thing that's been difficult for me to finally come to terms with was that, and I think this is just in general, one thing that one skill that I need to really start embracing and learning is kind of moving on from things, you know, just like letting go and moving on and not continuing to dwell on a thing. That is a bad cycle that I have a habit of staying in and really torturing myself over and overthinking it. And it's just this thing where you waste your time and you waste other people's time. I have unfortunately discovered that, well, with the church that I was going to, that it's probably not for me, that what I'm looking for, right? And it's not what you think. It's not, oh, what did you think that you were going to go and just like get married? Like, no, nothing to do with that. But that, what I was looking for, I'm not going to find there, and I can't lie to myself anymore that I will. And the second thing is just the mask thing there. Now none of this is to attack the church, the parish, any of that stuff. It's realistically, at the end of the day, it's a problem. I'm going to put this over. Gosh. It's a problem of my own creation. Really, everything lames. Gosh, is that a Freudian slip? Everything ultimately goes back to the problem starting here. Your inability to see things and be honest about it. You know, essentially, so I started going early January last year. What I was looking for, folks, what I was looking for desperately most of all was just a community to sort of belong to, have that feeling of belonging, feeling like you're a part of something. And unfortunately, I discovered after a year that I don't really feel like I belong to really anything. You know, I've been able to make some connections, sort of get to know people, etc. But a year later, I really don't feel like I'm a part of anything. It's hard to describe to you. It really does still feel like everything is based around these kind of like these established and connected families. And if you're just kind of a person off the street, so to speak, like you're kind of treated like you don't completely exist. And that's fine, because it was actually, you know, in hindsight, that was actually kind of clear from the beginning that this place is probably not for you. It's for these people, and you're not these people. You might get to know some of these people, but at the end of the day, like this place, like I said, this is not for you. So I'm not blaming it's my inability and my weakness to trust my gut, my intuition, whatever, and, you know, try to insert myself in something that probably wasn't ever really going to be. So, you know, it's kind of like you're given some kind of a dish to eat. Let's just I don't know, I'm just using a weird metaphor here. You're given some kind of a dish to eat, and you don't like it. All right? And instead of just being honest that you don't like it, you keep on eating and eating, and then you wonder, I mean, can you really be that surprised that you keep on eating and eating and you're still not liking it, right? I mean, who does the blame lay on? I mean, the blame is on you. You knew that it probably wasn't for you, so why did you... I had heard about this whole church shopping thing, and something about it, people talk, tell, really look around for, and something, I was very, very stubborn about that, and just something really felt wrong about that. I don't know why. It felt like some kind of cheating, right? Like I was cheating on somebody, like I was cheating on a spouse or something like that. I don't know, like, what is it about my psychology that maybe it's just a desire to be loyal to something. That I mean, I don't know. I was very oblivious about it. I don't know, it sounds weird to me. Something felt wrong. But now I see, okay, I see now why people do that. There's a reason why in 2019, when I first went there, I mean, it was earlier summer, where just a lot of problems started with my back and sleep and some other stuff that, I will never talk about, won't talk about, and never will talk about. But, my mom was like, God, it almost feels like somebody put a curse on you. So I went to the church and all that, like I bought stuff from the store and talked to the lady, and then finally a bit later that summer when I was feeling better, I went, and, the service was really nice, and I liked the atmosphere of a Orthodox church, all that stuff. Oh yeah, there's going to be this coffee hour thing. So I went, grabbed my little cup of decaf coffee, and I'm standing there, and there's all these people around me, people walking by, and there's nobody talking to you. I know this sounds kind of petty and some kind of high school whatever thing, but I think as a lifelong loner, this kind of stuff stands out to me very, very easily. Because I've seen this now with other people there, and so usually, you'll go to the coffee hour, you'll see the one dude who, they're newer, they got their coffee and their muffin, and they're standing there and nobody's talking to them. So you can kind of instantly recognize that. So I'll usually go and make small, try to make the connection there and stuff. It really stands out. But I'm standing there. This is in 2019. I'm standing there, just surrounded by all these people, and everyone is just sort of ignoring you like you don't exist. And I see that one lady that I went to the store, and that I bought when I went to the store earlier that year. I just wanted to, went and just said hello and just said, hey, thanks for, getting this cross blessed and all that stuff. And she just kind of said, oh, I don't remember. It was a very just kind of oh yeah, that's good. And then just instantly turned away and went back to talking with whoever group she was with. It was a very, I don't know, all right, well, this just feels weird. I guess I'll just leave now. I mean, I don't know that. So see, so having said this, I know it sounds like some kind of a boo-hoo, poor me. I just wanted to be their friend. But that, to me, in hindsight, I mean, even back then, something just felt kind of weird about that whole thing. That, to me, should have been the signal. Dude, this is probably not for you. You should probably maybe look for something else. But, okay, and then, gosh, all the COVID and whatever stuff happened in 2020. And then early 2021, I went, it's all right, I'll just go. I'll just keep on going. Maybe it's just, and yeah, I got to know people and this and that, and some of the other people sort of open up to you just a little bit, but not enough to actually let you in. Went consistently, went to this, went to some of the events, and just at the end of last year, I think it was sometime after I filmed the goodbye video, where I just realized I don't actually think I belong here. I supposedly know all these people. I mean, even talking to, what the hell is that music? You know, even talking to the priests and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't like, just something. I literally still feel kind of like a stranger, despite, I don't know. I'll see the one or two people that I got a little bit closer with. We'll do a little talking, and you know, maybe once in a while, some like a random person that I've never talked to will drop on by, and we'll kind of have the like, oh, what school do you go to conversation, and then they reach the point where they're clearly done talking to you, and like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna go talk to people I know better. And it's like, if this is how it feels after a year, like, you know, if I keep doing this for another year, is this really going to be any different? Something tells me probably not. I should have probably gone with my gut feeling, but it's my weakness in my inability to trust and go with my gut that now ended me up in this kind of awkward situation where I went for a year. So if I don't go back, I'm kind of the weird a-hole, right? The weird asshole who just disappeared. But if I go back, I'm just keeping up appearances. Oh, everything's so great. How are you? Like, yeah, it's just I don't know. Like, I will be living a lie, folks. And I think at this point, I'm way too fucking old to keep up appearances, pretend to do a thing, whatever, just for some kind of, oh, look at me, I'm doing the right thing by coming here. And I mean, I don't know. It's ultimately what it comes back to is what I said is I should have just gone with my gut instead of putting myself kind of now in this situation where I should have just been honest with myself that this probably isn't for you. You should probably, you know, at some point, like, just try going somewhere else, seeing what else is out there. Like, there's a reason why people have said that you need to do church shopping and find one that does feel right for you. And the last thing was just the mask thing that I can't do anymore, folks. That was the final nail in the coffin. You know, when there's not any mandates, oh, everything's so great, it's almost like we're back to normal, right? Oh, yeah. And as soon as there's any sort of little thing, it's, oh, well, you know, the Metropolitan says we gotta follow the local health authorities. We gotta bring out the mask required signs. We gotta do the, but, you know, and I was willing to go along. I mean, there's, you know, some of those parishioners there seem kind of based, but there's just one interaction. This is the last time I went when I was there. I don't know if it was like late November, where, so I walk in, I put on my mask, like, all right, whatever. I'm standing in line to light the candle and whatever. And then there's these people kind of walk in and they don't have masks on. And so they're about to go into the church. And one of these, like, parish leader types of people stops them and say, oh, do you need a mask? Do you need masks? You know, that's like the nice way to say, well, masks are required, right? So like the non-aggressive. So the reaction is supposed to be, if I say, oh, okay, yeah, do you have some? That's the like nice way to say, oh, I was going to try to walk in without a mask because I don't believe in this, but I see that you're asking me as a, like, this is a requirement, so, like, I guess I'll put on the thing. But if I say, no, I don't need a mask, that's a sort of nice way to say, I'm walking in, I know a mask is required, but I'm walking in without one, right? Though that's like this must be some kind of like a white person. I think this probably is. It's kind of like that, this unspoken way that probably, you know, the non-melanated, I should say, we won't use the non-melanated speak, where it's kind of like, you say stuff, but it's like this indirect communication. I think some of you like kind of understand probably what I mean by that. It's kind of the nice, non-blunt way to talk, you know, just to keep up the being nice thing. And yeah, just these people said, oh no, we don't need them. And then they continued walking, and this person stopped them and said, well, we require masks. And so these people just said, you know what, we'll come back when the mandates are over, and then left. And so something about that bothered me, and to this day still bothers me so intensely. So you mean to tell me these people who took the time to get ready and come to church, you know, they're entering the house of God, right? But no, we're doing this, right? So I can probably find some kind of, I don't know, non-denominational church somewhere around here. I'm willing to bet I'll walk in, nobody's going to be wearing these things, and nobody's going to tell me that I need to wear one. But you know, we the one true church, like we require masks, and now we're turning these people away or something. I mean, I don't know, like, just, am I crazy? Is it not just, I mean, I don't care, whatever. That shit just didn't sit right with me, and I just kind of knew, folks, like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep up. Oh, I'm just gonna go along to get along, like, whatever, man. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I don't care anymore. This is yours. You know, you folks can have this. I'll look for something else, because this is clearly not for me. Do whatever you want to do. And I don't know that. And I just started really feeling like a complete asshole about it all. I shouldn't have gone for as long as I did. Now it's like that thing where, am I being unreasonable for just disappearing? See, all of this could have been avoided if I had just gone with my fucking gut from the beginning, that just something, gosh, almost 30 minutes in, you've barely drinking your coffee, eat your soup. Your soup's gotten cold. It's fucking hot out here at this point. So I'm now in that situation where, okay, I can go back, but now I'm no. You know, if it makes me look like an asshole, then that's just how it's gonna have to be, because I'm not doing the thing. I'm not, you know, I just wanted the one thing where I could go to once a week, or I didn't have to put on the mask, keep up, let's play this fucking game, you know. Yeah, I think the mandates have come down, like, oh yeah, big deal, right? And then what happened? Yeah, and then it's only a matter of time before we have it again, and we're playing this fucking game again, and I'm not doing this, you know? Do I need to move this car somewhere in the shade? Damn. It's freaking hot. So, damn. Hey, keep it down, bud. I'm trying to record a vlog here for YouTube. I'm obviously joking. I just think it'd be funny. Hey, keep it down. I'm trying to ramble. Turn off your car's engine. It's too loud. It's getting into my vlog for my YouTube channel, pal. So, well, that was disappointing. But it's, you know, if you can learn something from it, you know, because that lesson, the lesson in that situation applies to other things in life too. You know, if you meet a girl, you know, I think what it comes down to probably is, it probably does, as hokey as this sounds, it probably comes from a place of scarcity. I know, oh, that word, oh, you need to live, you need to live in abundance, bro. But I think there is truth to it, is that it does come from scarcity, where whether it's like meeting a girl instead of, and you know, whether it's this and like, hey, I don't know if this place is for me, I should go look elsewhere. Or you meet a girl and you're desperately hanging on and not just being honest with yourself that, dude, she's not really into you. Like, it's this place of scarcity that if I don't try to make this work or somehow get this going, I'll never be able to do so-and-so again, right? And or something almost, you're trying to keep something alive that's basically dead and probably never was. There's something kind of dark about that, where like, just, dude, if you can't let go, how is something else new ever going to come into your life, right? You're trying something that's not alive, it's dead. There's nothing there, and you're trying to give it life or keep it alive. Like, it's not possible. No wonder, you know, these people who get in these relationships where there's nothing there, and then years later it just ends up in these complete messes. I mean, I understand how that happens now. So there is a lesson in this. You know, you meet a girl and you're like, oh, you know, if you feel a little something, and then you kind of see that, yeah, I'm not so sure that there's really anything here. And instead of just being honest about that, you do that thing where you pine after her, right? Pine after some girl for months, maybe even years, right? Come on, if you're watching this, you are so guilty of that stuff. Instead of just saying, there's nothing here, you know, you don't have to be like rude or anything and never talk to, but just let go, just forget about, just move on. And, you know, you kind of do have to go where you're wanted, if you will, not holding on to where you're not really wanted. And I think a part of that too was just, it reminded me back of high school, where you feel like a ghost that can exist everywhere, get along with everyone, but not feel like you belong anywhere. Just that feeling, that desperate feeling to belong started to come up again, where you realize that it's not being met. But you know, this is something that I got to work on. It's not even about seeing, because I can see it quickly. It's just not being honest about it with myself and acknowledging it, and just, okay, I can see there's probably nothing here. I mean, whatever that applies to. I mean, even with my job, I saw long ago that this probably isn't for me and what I should be doing, you know, and now what, almost 16 fucking years later, am I, you know, dangerously starting to actually consider the possibility of entertaining the thought of maybe getting around to doing something else, right? This was something that I saw long ago, but just didn't have the courage to just admit it, right? I can see all this stuff very easily. You know, I bet everyone watching this probably can in their lives, of whatever it is, but having that like honesty that like, yeah, I don't admit to it and just kind of like walk away, move on, not continue to hold on. That's the other story, because it's this, well, if I don't somehow make this work, how will I ever, another thing, right? And by holding on, you know, you really do almost make it impossible for something else to happen, because you're not, you know, you can't give up the thing you're holding on. So because of that, your hands are never free to accept a new thing. And anyway, I want some coffee now. It's yeah, there's a lot of people showing up here. I'm sure everyone else has the same thoughts. Enjoy this weather before that cold storm soon. Yeah, I don't think I will message back, church girl. Whatever there sort of might have been in the beginning, at this point, I can't deny anymore that there's really nothing there. We barely talk. My attempt to kind of push things in the direction of maybe, you know, hey, you're a cool girl, I'd like to get to know you more, all that stuff was very lukewarm and kind of not acknowledged at all. Like these are signs that are very, very clear and evident. And still in my head, I'm doing this thing where I'm drawing charts and graphs of like, well, should I say this? Should we do that? Should I invite her to this? Like, dude, there's nothing there. It's okay. It's okay. You can let it go. Just in general, it's not with her, with like all the rest of like, dude, it's, you know, it just, when you can kind of see that there's nothing there at this point, and that people aren't reaching out to you and all, like whatever, it's okay. You can let go. You can let go. It's all right. You don't have to do this thing where, oh, I desire some kind of validation from these people. You know, it's almost like you're trying to sell to people who aren't looking to buy, right? And then getting angry why they're not taking your sales pitch. Dude, they're not looking to buy what you're selling, so just move on. It's okay. You know, I remember I worked for like a very brief amount, gosh, like 16 years ago at Best Buy. I worked on Black Friday, and I still remember one of the managers said, you know, people will be in line to get into the store. You'll give them the spiel of the sales. He said, like, you know, like if people aren't interested, don't do this thing where you're, oh, boo-hoo, I'm so sad, whatever. Dude, just move on to the next one. I mean, that's obviously easier said than done. It's probably a skill that you have to learn, like everything else, and that is a skill that I better start learning and implementing before, you know, like I've said, not only do I waste my time, but I waste other people's time and just make the situation weird for everyone. You know, it might seem kind of awkward, but by stopping the thing early, you're avoiding like the really weird shit and bad shit in the future by having to face that reality far then. You know, I think that this touches upon, you know, I'm having a lot of realizations these days. I feel like a human bag of popcorn. You know, you put it in the microwave, you turn on the heat, nothing really happens at first. You start getting a few pops, and after the heat has been applied long enough, that's when it starts popping, right? It gets popping. The key is just to not burn now. But it's this desire to this is probably the schizo part of the video now. There is actually, I want some coffee. So I forgot to prepare for a schizo rant here. Like Christopher Anderson said, this is the golden age of the schizo. Like it when it gets to that sort of lukewarmish but still hot level, and you can just drink it. And you know, I could never do espressos where you're like, you gotta chug it down whatever quickly. No, you know, it's like alcohol. You know, I think if I had to, oh God, I mean, it's me and alcohol, right? But I think this is why I always kind of enjoyed a beer or a seltzer, just something that has volume and you can enjoy that volume, not like a shot. Like you're getting to the destination too quickly, you know? This right here is the journey, but also it has a destination. So anyway, for the schizo part of the video, I think that there is a force in you, there is an energy in you that wants to express itself. It wants to express and receive love. And when it's not able to do that, it doesn't go away. It's still there. So it kind of goes down like some kind of an exit path, because it can't go in the direction that it wants. It wants to reach a point. I think, it does apply to women, So this is why it's hard to describe, because if you just call it, oh, incel, like you're really, like it's almost, you are debasing something that's actually very serious and, I don't know, wholesome, pure. It can be the desire to express love for a woman and receive that back, but it can also be, a group of friends or some kind of a community. So I think that's maybe what this whole finding a church community to belong with was. It's a desire to express that energy and then get that back, to complete that circuit, that cycle, and be energized by it from that, right? I mean, everyone out there is probably like at some point in your life, I mean, not now. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably don't have that now. Some kind of a group of friends that you knew and you all got along really well and you understood each other, and that sort of energy was there, love doesn't have to be some kind of a romantic whatever thing. It just seems like you could hang out all day and you were so energized by that. I mean, let's be honest, none of us probably have that now. If I'm sitting in my car saying this and you're sitting wherever you are watching this, none of us have that now. Because if we did, we wouldn't be here, right? So there's this desire to express that energy, complete that circuit, just have that energy, just, and when you're not able to do that, that energy, like I said, it doesn't go away. It doesn't just magically stop existing. So it goes down an exit path because it has to go somewhere. Now this exit path has two ends, but ultimately it's a dead end. There's two paths. One is despair, one is rage. And I kind of picture that both of these ends have kind of like a bubble on it that can expand and hold a certain amount of energy. And I think depending on the person, depending on the life situation, one end may inflate more than the other. And for some people out there, they are not able to contain that and these ends burst. Maybe both, maybe one or the other. I would say that the whole forever alone thing is despair. And obviously rage, that's the incel thing. If you had to embody them, despair is probably Chris Chan. I mean, the tragedy of that. And rage is obviously Elliot. I mean, we don't need to get into it. It's a thing. And I think that everyone would probably agree, no matter, if you kind of put it like this, that exit path is a bad thing to go down. No matter, you put aside the memes, the jokes, whatever. Like, I think everyone out there would probably agree it's a bad thing. But there's the conundrum, right? There's the conundrum, folks. If you're not able to express that energy in a way that you are desperately looking to, however that ultimately is, and it going down the exit path to try to go somewhere is also bad. Now we have a conundrum of what do you do, right? What do you honestly do? And I think that the answer, and this is probably another thing that's a skill, probably lies in some kind of a transmutation of taking that energy and transforming it into something else. I read something from Napoleon Hill about, in his book Think and Grow Rich. He's got a chapter about sexual transmutation, and he kind of talks about something like this. And, you know, it always seemed kind of a weird thing to me, but I think as I'm getting older now, I can really see something there. It's just, there's something to it, folks. Transmuting that energy and turning it into something else, which is why this is what's leading me down to where it's probably a good idea to learn how to be good at being alone. Now, when you're alone, you can do what is everybody's mind immediately goes down. Eldar, right? Lay down and rot, feel sorry for yourself, all that. That's what people think of being alone. And that's what people will naturally do when you're alone. But the other side of it, folks, the other side of it, this is what I mean by learning to be good while at being alone, is learning to be productive while being alone. Having some kind of a thing that you're probably interested in, some kind of a skill that you want to build so that you can take this energy and transmute it to go towards this. And I'm sure, you know, as weird as this sounds, like, well, how do you do that? Like everything else, it's probably a skill that you just simply have to learn. Or instead of going towards the things you normally would, I mean, it goes back to the video that I deleted because I'm very sensitive to criticism, where it's just that thing where you have to sit down and do the thing that you want to do, but you're avoiding. And get into that flow state, and that's probably where the magic happens. It's just, you know, what is it's like you want to go work out and you seemingly have no motivation, but if you just put on the thing and you show up to the gym, you might suddenly find of like, oh, okay, you know what? Now I think I can do this. And I know this sounds completely insane. I mean, I don't even care, but I think there's definitely something to this. And it might sound very sad. It might sound, oh, you sound like, well, you want a wage cuck? You want a wage? You're going to be a study cell, a work cell? I mean, it's more than that. I mean, I do think work is certainly important. I mean, if you want to do anything, you're going to need money. If your situation is already bad enough, I think being a NEET is only going to make it worse. And it's this thing where it might just be the only thing that you have, so that you're able to actually somehow exist and maybe even flourish in your state, in your condition. You know, if you're not, you know, don't curse the thing if it's the only thing that you have, right? It might just be the only thing that you have. What the hell was I talking about now? I'm going to drink some coffee and see if I can get back on, you know, my unhinged schizo ramble. So I think that this has been a good lesson for, all right, it's starting to be a lot of cars out here. And let's at least turn off this and turn on this seated air thing. So I think that this whole thing has been a good lesson for me and a good reminder that you don't want to isolate yourself. You really don't. All right, so this was not a, oh, so what does this mean, that you're just like never going to talk to anyone and you're going to sit in your room learning to code, bro? That sounds miserable. No, it's not about isolation and never going anywhere, not meeting anyone, but it's really having to learn how to be good at being alone, how to be happy with yourself. As hokey as all that shit sounds, it turns out that it's actually probably true. Like, if you don't learn how to be functional by yourself and find some kind of a contentment from yourself, and you start looking to other people for that, I mean, it's not going to be possible to get that, you know? Especially, I would say, this day and age. With us, I mean, the general collapse of community in society, in community. But it's true. And so you start having these absurd expectations of other people and what they're going to do for you. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you can go make all the friends in the world and this and that. Realistically, you're going to almost, like, finding people that you have true actual connections with, who might also want to have that with you, you know, is going to be very slim. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very slim. And even with the people that you're more closer with, at the end of the day, what can you possibly expect them to do for you? It's like with I don't know, man, my relationship with faith at this point is just weird. I don't know. And I'm not going to be a priest, a theologian, and study this and that or any of this, but there's this quote by Miyamoto Musashi. He's that famous swordsman from Nippon. He's got that like a little text of the way of walking alone, and one of the little planks of it is something to the effect of, respect Buddha and the gods, but don't rely on them. Now, I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not looking to become a Buddhist. I'm not trying to tell people what to think or what to believe. But that, to me, when I read that a little bit ago, it just really, you know, I can pray all day in the world, ask for this, ask for that, but it's still up to me to ultimately get up off my knees and actually go do something, right? So, I mean, I don't know. My whole relationship with all this stuff with people is just weird. I feel like a complete asshole, a complete letdown of this. I mean, I feel like there's some kind of a thing I'm supposed to portray to the people around me. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's all just in my head. It's that, I think it's just that reality too, where it is over, folks. It is indeed over. What is over, though, specifically, is that the direction that I've been on for the last many, many years, and the life that's built around that, I have now discovered that life is in fact a lie. Whatever there was has died long ago and lost its meaning. And you know, that life is over, right? And you can continue trying to hold on. You can continue, oh, well, maybe no, dude, it's, go do something else, you know? Go do something else. Go try something else. Now, it's not to say you have to, like, be an asshole or anything to people like that, or be rude or anything, but you gotta let go. You gotta probably let go. So, I don't know what I think of anything. I'm kind of tired after that ramble. It's probably about it. Almost an hour. I gotta learn to not probably be so soft and weak with criticisms and stuff. I mean, if I want to go out into the world, right, I'm sure I'm going to have to deal with a whole lot worse. So now's probably the time to start learning how to not be, you know, listen if there's something good, but not be overly sensitive to everything. I think it's just it does come from a place of wanting to, I don't know, have people like me, feel like I'm doing the right thing, you know, receive validation, all blah, 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 all the other stuff I'm sure everyone else. Well, that's probably going to do it. So, it is. Yep. Gonna finish this coffee, go for a walk. Bye-bye.